All right. In our last class, where do we stop? What do we do?
Okay, inducements.
Yeah, so we don't reach inducement with that. That's fast.
Mm.
That's sharp. That's sharp. So I feel like you'll be sending me some of your classwork, your personal classwork. But I've been waiting for you to send it, but I think it's only the assignment I gave you. You always like to send. Do more of classwork. Do more of classwork. It will actually improve. It will help you. It's not only the
Mhm.
assignment I give you, you will just do and just carry face. Trading is all about learning every day, consistent learning.
Yes,
Even me that I'm teaching you, I still learn. I'm still learning. You understand?
past I know you're learning, Sha.
So that's it. I won't drop this trade on VIP, but before I see make I drop am, e don trigger me. The play out. I leave am. I dey chop am alone.
Me nothing in my trading account, and I don't rest for now.
Yeah, now. All right, let's go. Let's go back to inducements before we proceed. Let's go back to inducement. So, in our last class, we discussed about the structure. You still remember, right?
Yes, I remember everything.
So today we'll be talking about structure and inducement, and we might add a little bit of POI. Come on, see how BTC is dropping. POI. Yeah, this is what we'll be discussing about today. I really want to drop this trade on my VIP. Kai, but the thing just trigger and start to the move. But anyway, I chop alone.
This one will give you the least 5K, 10K now.
Huh?
That one will give you the least 5K to 10K.
I know 2 weeks small like that, Jare. Now just 3K, Jare. It's actually running on 3K.
3K, that be just 3K. Oh God, only me know. Okay.
And
$3,000.
and
Oh Jesus.
some of my investors' accounts also still running. All right, let's go. Let's talk about inducement.
Okay.
Talk about inducement. So we've talked about our structure. We've talked about structures and inducements. From inducement, we might briefly talk about the POI. Let's start with the inducement. Inducement is, like I said in my last class, it's all
Let's pull
about,
back after every.
yeah, it's all about the pullback, the retests. This particular retest will always happen. This, this, this. So all this pullback are what we are talking about, are what we'll be looking into. She understand. They are
Yes, sir.
pullback, pullback. She understand. They are pullback. So let's talk about it more before we start going
Go
further.
ahead.
If we have much time though. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Now, like I said in our last class, I said pure inducement is actually of two. It's either the inducement mitigates your major break of structures or the inducement doesn't mitigate it. So now let's use the one that the market doesn't mitigate it and give us 50% and above. Do you now know how to measure the 50% Fibonacci and above?
Yes, I just did my Fibonacci. I know how to
Just,
do it.
just the same way I taught you, right?
Yes.
All right, that's good. So either the market give us 50% and above, But let's just be realistic. Most of the time, the market just give us 50%. So let's stop it. Yeah, let's
I
stop.
have a question, sorry. I know I'm going too forward, but let me just ask and be clear.
No, no, no,
What
no.
if
You are free to go.
what if the market goes okay a little bit above the 50% and sells on a
Ah,
buy market?
okay, something like this. I'm coming. Do you mean something like this? Hold on. Why is BTC running like this?
It is fits now. I need a chop am.
Okay, so you mean something like this? Something like this, right?
Yes,
Yeah, calm down. So we are still coming there. We'll actually talk
it's
about
all right.
POI today. We'll actually talk about POI today. So we're going to discuss about it.
All
So
right.
after this inducement discussion, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just brief a little bit about POI and give you another assignment. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Now, okay. Let's go. So now, talking about the inducement. Now, like I said in our last class, the inducement can actually be either something like this, give you this kind of break, give you 50%, give you uh stay close, very close to the previous high or break it. Do you understand? So it depends on what the market is
Yes, sir.
actually doing. It actually depends on what the market is actually doing, either on 50% or
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 above.
stay on the previous highs or above it. Now, the reason why this one is not going coming below this is because this particular inducement here doesn't mitigate this particular major break of structure. I feel like you've understand what inducement is all about, right?
Yes, I understand already.
All right. I think
I've
we
been doing my classwork, but I've not been doing screenshots. I'll check on the charts, find the inducements, and understand it. I kept on doing it. It was now easy and clearer for me that
uh,
I hardly find the inducements. I
let's
don't look for it. Already on the charts looking for me.
okay, now let's talk about PO high then. Let's talk about PO high, the points of interest. There's no time to you don't need to start wasting time on inducements when you already know what inducement is all about. So we have the points of interest, the interesting parts of the market.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think this one really, really interesting.
that's why we call it the points of interest. Don't forget that in this inducement is very, very important. I always tell you that this inducement is very, very important for you to look into while analyzing because this inducement is going to give you the kind of entry that you are going to enter with. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, don't forget it. So now on this particular point of interest, it's actually divided into two. We have the breaker block entry model, and we have the order block. Now, don't forget that we are still on the continuation model of this strategy. I told you from when we started that my strategy is divided into two. We have the continuation pattern and we have the reversal model, right?
Yes.
We are still teaching the continuation model. We're still on the continuation model. So don't forget it.
Okay.
So the continuation model is where we talk about the break of structures, that's VOS. But when we now switch to the reversal pattern or the reversal model, that's where we start talking about market structure shift, MSS. So once you see me talking
Okay.
about MSS, that means we've shifted it to uh we've shifted to the reverse.
Reversal pattern.
Yeah. So that's it.
Are you
So
there?
do
Okay. Okay.
you have any question?
No, no, no. It was hanging, so I thought it was network or something.
No, it wasn't hanging. I quickly sent someone a message.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. Now let's talk about PO high. We've talked about the structure, we've talked about the inducement. Now let's start. Let
Yes.
me just give you a brief class on POI before we start digging into it because trust me, this is not all about POI. Everything I'll be teaching you today about POI is not all about POI. It's just a brief class on it before we start digging into it. If you understand.
Okay.
So now POI, as the name implies, is the interesting part of uh, the market, some interesting points in the market where those big banks put in their orders, wait for orders to be filled. So that's what we actually look into. Now, the
Okay.
POI is actually divided into the breaker block entry model and the reversal, the other block entry model. Sorry. Now, like I said in our last class, I said this inducement is going to determine the kind of entry model you are going to use. Now, if I open a chart for example, now this particular trade, this particular BTC trade that is
Hmm.
running now, the kind
Yes,
of
sir.
entry model, the kind of entry model I use here is a break of is an order block, is another block. I use another block here to enter this particular trade. I didn't use a breaker block. Why do I use an order block to enter this particular sell trade on BTC that is running now? Now, this is what happened. Now, this particular inducement determines the kind of entry I'm going to use. Why do
Okay.
I say that? Now, this particular inducement doesn't mitigate this major break of structure that we have here.
Okay.
Now, if you look very closely that this particular inducement doesn't mitigate our major break of structures, and this particular inducement mitigate it
You get it.
to the downside. Are you seeing the difference now?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me give you four rules of my POI. I actually have four rules I use. Let me list them out for you. Four rules for POI that I use. So, do you have a book and a pen there?
Don't worry. I used to watch it after the class. That's when I jot it down. For now,
Oh,
like I used to listen. I
that's very
prefer listening before writing,
that's
so I
very
understand better.
good. Now. The first one is the first rules there is it has to trigger a break of structure or MSS. The reason why I'm combining both the break of structure and MSS is the rules is actually applicable to both the continuation model and the reversal model. You understand? The POI rules
Yes.
is mainly it's mainly for both the break of structures and the continuation model and the reversal model. So it has to trigger a break of structure or MSS. That's the first one. Then the second one is it needs an inducement protecting it. It has to protect, inducement has to protect it, which is this particular inducement that we're talking about. Inducement has
Yes.
to protect it. The third one is it needs to be unmitigated. Your POI needs to be unmitigated. it needs to stand firm, not to be mitigated. And the fourth one, that's the last one, is it has to be the point of interest closest or closer to the liquidity. It has to be a point of interest closer to the liquidity. Now, why do we draft out these four rules? These four rules is going to really help us on how to determine our entry points and how to enter and everything. Now, let's just go for it. Let's take it one step at a time. We don't have to rush, like I always said. Now, this particular
Okay.
inducement is going to determine if we are going to use a breaker block as our entry. This,
Another block.
yeah, this is a breaker block entry, and this is an order block entry model. Now, here's how it works. This particular inducement doesn't mitigate this, and this particular
Okay.
inducement is protecting this POI. Don't forget the four rules that I listed out for you. This inducement doesn't mitigate this major break of structures, and this
Okay.
inducement is protecting this particular guy here. And this particular
Right.
guy here has given us a break of structure that we needed.
Mm.
You see that the rules are completed here already. We have the complete rules
Yes.
here already. So now, this is what the market is going to do. Once the market give you your 50% and above, or 50%
Mm.
on a dot like this, then what the market will do is the market will come back to your major break of structure to pick it and start buying. Because why? Because the inducement doesn't mitigate,
Mm.
because the inducement
Break of structure.
doesn't mitigate that major break of structure. Now, this can also happen like this. The market can actually do something like this, break this, give you an inducement like this, not mitigating this, break this level up, break it to the upside, then come down, sell, and buy her back. Depends on what the market is giving you at that time. But majorly, what the market will definitely do is give you an inducement, give you a pullback, which is a retracement, which can either be on 50% or more, come back for your entry, then buy back. Am I making sense?
We're making sense now.
All right. That's for the breaker block entry. Now, what if the market mitigates this our major break of structure, which is where we'll be using our order block entry? Like I said, this class is just going to
Another
be,
block.
like I said, this class is just going to be
Yeah.
a brief class on POI. We'll still go more deeper than this next week because
Okay.
today's Friday already, and uh, I don't
You have to
teach.
enjoy yourself.
I have to enjoy my wife. Very important. So now let's talk about this particular order block. Now, this is how order block entry model works. Now, same way the market give you an impulse move that breaks both the minor and the major
The
together.
final.
Yeah, same way the market has to come down to trigger to mitigate this particular guy here. Now, the four rules said it has to be unmitigated. Now, you see, this particular guy didn't mitigate this one, but this particular guy has mitigate this guy here.
Yes.
Now, this particular guy has mitigated this one, but this one doesn't mitigate now. Now, you see, the difference between this guy and this guy is this inducement. You should know that inducement is very important here. Are you getting it? Inducement is very important because inducement actually shows us what is happening here. This inducement shows that this guy has not been mitigated, but this guy has been mitigated. That means we need to
I've
go
been
for the second
mitigated.
option. That's it. Now, this guy has been mitigated, so we need a pullback that will give us a 50% or above, or just on 50%, or just on where the previous high was sitting down. Now, what we need is for either for the market to go up to break this is still valid, or give you 50% is still valid, or give you the real the same length with the previous high is still valid. But for the market
Yeah.
to just come down, pick your order block, resting here, and buy up.
Why is that place marked as an order block?
That's good. I thought you would know hacks though, but now let's go back to our basics. Now, if you remember in our basics class when we started, why is my wife sending me message on Telegram? I don't understand. See this woman.
We cannot reach you.
I don't know. I don't know if now in our basics class we talk about the these market creating highs and lows like this, right?
Yes.
I told you when we started that these are where our order block are sitting down. If you remember
Okay.
vividly in our
It's
yeah, you remember now, right? These
I
are the
remember, yes.
areas. These are the areas where our order blocks are sitting down. These are the areas where those big banks
They
normally put
buy.
normally put their orders.
Mm.
Yeah, that's where they always hide their orders to be filled. So now, if this is the basics of what we've been teaching, then this is where the order block is going to be, because the order block is going to be resting here or here. Now, in our next class, I'll be teaching you how to spot another block, how to spot a breaker block, how to know the other block that is valid. Either this, you see we have different other blocks here to be filled.
Mm.
You see them here. You see them here. Now, in our next class, that's next week, we'll be talking about how to fill the valid point where the market is going to be filled to fill the other block and everything needed, right? But with this few minutes that we spent, I'm very sure that you've actually understand the PUI.
I understand it, and did I explain?
Mm. But you can
I
explain, but you
understand
actually
it.
understand.
I can, I can explain from
That's
what you explained from me.
that's good. That's good. That's good. So now that means you can actually do the assignment I will be giving you tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the assignment. Now now you see that gradually we've been accumulating these things and it's actually making sense gradually. We started with the structure, we started with the inducement, we
It's
started with that's inducement liquidity. Now we are on PU high. Gradually we are building it, we are building the structure, we are building you up. So now the assignment is now we are not going to back test. Now we are getting to the point of you
okay.
analyzing a fresh chart yourself. This is where the work really starts. Now, this is what you're going to do for me. The three pairs that you choose, your favorite three pairs that you choose from when we started. Now, this is what you're going to do. You go back to your
Okay.
pairs. Now, you are not back testing for me. You are opening a very new chart. A new
Okay.
start with analyzing from your daily, from your hourly time frame, from picking your major break of structure to picking your minor break of structure to picking your new inducements and picking your
Mm.
new POI, either the breaker block or the other block. So everything you'll be doing now is new things. You're not back testing. Now you notice that all the assignments I've been giving you and I've not been seeing anything is the previous thing that happened. That's what you're marking out. But
Yeah.
now you begin
Yeah.
to analyze yourself. So now I'll be expecting the assignment on Monday. I don't know. You said
Okay.
you're starting your exam soon, but just try your best and do
Yeah.
it within this weekend and send it to me on Monday, so I will know what's up.
Okay. Three currency pairs, right?
You can
Have
actually
three
do on
pairs.
you can do on synthetic anyone you feel like.
Okay.
Just your
Thank you.
three pairs and let's see how it goes. Then I will know what to look into before we go to the next topic, and gradually we'll start moving. And
I'm
gradually
already
and
doing very
gradually
well.
you are turning superstar. Are
Now this
becoming
your trade when they run here, they look. Oh.
eh?
Now this your 3K trade when they run here, just they look.
I mean, you don't even let me check. I think he's on 3-1 now. You don't retrace 3-1, 3-1 20 something, and it's actually coming down. So went to eat TP before the day break. So all right, so I'll be
But
expecting the solution of the assignments on
on
Monday,
Monday,
and do have a
on our
great
next class, right? Before our
yeah
next class.
yeah
Okay.
before our next class. Do
All right, sir.
have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Okay. That's it.